So yesterday I posted on Instagram about how to make a change in your life. 3 things you need to do. Um, I talked about defining what the change is, make it very specific. So not just saying I want to be healthier or I want to be fitter or I want to be less stressed. It's actually breaking down like I want to learn how to meditate because that will help me be less stressed. The second thing was defining the purpose of the outcome, the purpose of the change. So if I meditate, I'll be less stressed. If I'm healthier, I'll feel less sluggish, I'll feel more energetic. Because if you don't define an outcome, if you don't make a purpose, you won't stick to it. And then breaking down all the steps that you need to take to get to that outcome, to achieve that goal. So that's what I posted about yesterday, but I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on it and talk about the process of making a change, because it truly is a journey. making a change is truly a process. It is truly a journey, and it truly takes time. I'm definitely talking more towards health and fitness and mental health as well, mindset and all that. You have to try 100 different ways to find what works for you, because there are so many different ways of eating, there are so many different ways to exercise, and I kind of think everything works depending on what your goal is, but you have to find what you feel good on, and 2, what will continually work for you long term. I'm sure you've heard it before, but I'll say it again. A diet isn't good if you can't stick to it. An exercise routine isn't good if you can't do it for life. So I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on that. I'll use myself as an example. So, oh God, how long did I spend trying to figure out what's the best way for eating for me? Probably since I was 16, so 11 years. I spent a long time trying to figure out how I should be eating, what is the best for me. And for a long time, I just did what was healthy. I just ate a lot of certain ways because that's what everyone said is the right way to eat. And a lot of it was low carb dieting, which I stuck to for about 3 years and did different variations of it. And I hated it. I hated every second of it, but I did it because I thought that's what worked. And then I found veganism. And I'm always hesitant to talk about veganism because people are like, hey, you're pushing veganism. I'm not trying to push veganism. This is just literally what works for me. Everything that I struggled with on a low carb diet, like bloating and cravings and always feeling hungry, I never have an issue with now on my current diet because it works for me. And because I took time to figure out, and once I went vegan, I had to figure out the way of eating vegan that worked for me. But now that I've figured it out, now that I actually took a lot of time to figure out exactly what made me feel good and what helped me function really well, I now don't have to think about my diet. It's just something I do. It's just something, a part of my life that requires no thought anymore, which is amazing. A lot of people spend a lot of their time and energy thinking about what they're eating and everything and how terrible it makes them feel. We're in isolation now. Now is literally the best time. I keep saying that now is the best time to be changing ourselves. Now is the best time to be working on ourselves, changing things in our lives that we don't like, because we have so few distractions. We have so few distractions. We have less social pressures. We're not going out to dinner anymore or that kind of thing. We don't have friends saying, "Nah, don't go to the gym tonight. Come to the bar with us," kind of thing. There are so many less distractions. Now you can focus on yourself. Now is the best time to be doing that. So take some of the steps to figuring out how to change that I posted yesterday. So remember, number 1 is defining what the change is. 2, attaching an outcome to it. 3, breaking it up into manageable steps. I had to write notes on how I was going to structure this video because I tried to film it before and I was just all over the place, so I'm just looking at notes right now. I had a really good thought attached to this. Okay. So why I specifically go into health and fitness and diet and everything is because Fitness, like your body is the foundation for how you feel. We know that scientifically, that what you eat affects your mental health. We know scientifically that exercising will improve your mood, will make you feel better, improve your mental health. If you can get your body functioning the way it's supposed to be, and I'm not talking aesthetics, I don't care how people look, your aesthetics is irrelevant. How you feel is the most important thing. And if you can find a way of eating and exercising that makes you feel your best, then your mental health will follow. Is it the solution to your mental health? No, because I've got more videos coming up about this, but is the foundation for it. You're giving yourself the best possible chance at thriving. You're giving yourself the best possible chance to succeed. Ultimately, when we come out of isolation, because eventually we will, this will end eventually, everyone who maybe doesn't have jobs right now will be looking for new opportunities. Everyone's going to be going out there looking for new jobs and everything. I'm going to venture to say that a lot of businesses, a lot of companies, people in general are going to be looking for the people that are the most resilient, the people who are most resilient, the most resourceful. If you can show that you can come out of isolation a better and stronger person, you're going to look so much more capable to any employer, to any situation that you're going into. Resilience is a really good thing. So my mentality is, why let isolation take you down? Why? There are so many good things you could be doing in this time to improve yourself, improve skill sets, improve how you feel, dig deep into that emotional work and find out what's going on. Yeah, we're going to have to go back into life eventually. That's really the end of my thoughts. So if you can make yourself a more resilient, stronger person, I don't know how that couldn't be a good thing. Those are my thoughts. I don't know if writing down my thoughts is better than me just rambling. I feel like my thoughts just rambling is better. Anyway, this is it. And I also wanted to add to that, lighting. I also wanted to add to that, accepting that the change is going to take a while. It's going to take a process. Being okay with maybe failing sometimes, because that will probably happen. And also, really important thing around diet is that I should be one of the first things I say actually, is that you don't have shame around food. Oh, so much shame. That's one thing I had a huge problem with before I found the right way of eating for me, is I experienced so much shame around food and so much like restriction. If you have to restrict what you're eating, if you feel shame around eating certain foods, because no food is bad. No, there's no such thing as bad food. Everything is good in moderation. What moderation means for certain foods is, yeah, that's good. But if you struggle with shame or anything like that, that's something that's a very clear sign that whatever you're doing isn't working. You shouldn't feel shame around eating. And I felt, when I did low carb dieting, I felt so much shame around so many foods. But that has now gone for me. I don't experience that anymore. So, except that it's going to take time to figure out what will work for you, and also being mindful of thoughts around food and all that. If you're restricting, or if you're shaming, or if you don't do certain things because you don't think you deserve it, those are all things to be very, very mindful of, and definitely seek help on those things. Yeah, that's just what I wanted to add on to that.